It's a trope that both haunts and fascinates us. The fantastic voyage. You know the one, when people shrink down and take a little trip in someone else's body. The 1966 film of the same name, based on a story by Otto Clement and Jerome Bixby, loaded this stock plot into our entertainment canon, and it's fired off countless imitations ever since. I want to explore this specific stock plot with you, but by the end of our journey, I'm hoping we'll unlock a better understanding of why we return to this microscopic adventure again and again. Let's start with Jimmy Neutron, Journey to the Center of Carl. Because Jimmy is a genius, this trope seems totally appropriate. Is he going to invent something with unintended consequences? Sure. Will he travel inside his most indispensable friend's body to solve an issue? Of course. Jimmy creates the neutronic sick patch, which stirs up cold symptoms in its users. He does so to get out of school, which barely makes sense considering he's a geek. Also, use your brain power for good maybe? Create a wellness patch instead. Jimmy's friend group learns about the patch, and before you know it, they all show up on his doorstep wanting one, and then you have the entire class doing the same. I was just surprised by how willing Jimmy was to give the patches out. I'm drawing the conclusion that he's desperate for his peers' approval.
Oh man, this is so sweet!
I love you, Jimmy!
Jimmy's dad homeschools him, which, okay, fine, but others employ acupuncture, confinement, wasp venom therapy, and cracked black pepper.
Your hip bone's connected to your bone next to it. That bone's connected to the... Jimmy, what's the bone in your knee?
When the sick patch becomes one with everyone's body, that's when the fantastic journey begins, and they even call this out by name.
2 of us will have to shrink to microbe size and travel inside one of you guys.
Depends what you mean by illegal.
Let us begin our fantastic journey to the center of Carl.
Jimmy and Sheen enter through Carl's nose via a ship and do not wear suits. Canonically, Carl's brain is the size of a walnut. Through my research, I learned he shares this trait with ostriches, macaws, and cats. Once Jimmy extracts mitochondria from the virus, the journey ends with a sneeze. The kids reflect on how being in school isn't as bad as being tortured by their parents. And I feel especially sorry for this kid.
No more leeches, mama, no more leeches, mama, no more leeches, mama.
I'll rank this one as a D simply because I wasn't entertained by the time that they spent in the body. Next up, Fairly OddParents, Tiny Timmy. At the start of this episode, Timmy's parents point out that they have a $50,000 vase.
That's more than you'll make in your entire life.
In this economy, kind of relatable. Timmy is chipping away at a school project about the human body. To spice things up, Cosmo and Wando create a shrink suit. Timmy asks that his fairies enjoy some time on their own, and he further shrinks down. That's where he meets Princess Protozoa. She's flirtatious with Timmy, who's a little too receptive to this.
Mind if I ask you a few questions?
Ask me anything. I think you multi-celled organisms are like so complex. No.
Meanwhile, Vicky swallows Cosmo and Wanda. They enter Vicky's body without suits or a craft, but I'm fine with that considering they're magical creatures. They land in a boat and begin to take a tour of Vicky's digestive system, accompanied by germs and a human. How did he get there? What's the economy within an angry, underpaid babysitter like? Also, are you hiring? We see at this point that Vicky ate a tiny horse. It's upsetting. Vicky breaks that expensive vase, obviously, which Timmy hears, leading him to track down Cosmo and Wanda. He enters Vicky's mouth via the shrink suit, but later he disembarks and walks around Vicky freely. Wanda and Cosmo make it to Kidneyland, which is a parody of Walt Disney World along with its creator.
It's Walt's kidney!
So this is the second person we've seen down here. It would seem that this is some tourism economy that's able to support people and germs. Timmy makes it past Vicky's black hole heart into her brain. This opened up the story to encompass another trope, the mental world, like Inside Out. I'm not into this. It gets muddled quickly when you have a microscopic cell with a personality versus the embodiment of human emotion, all within one 20-minute episode. This plot did allow Vicky to turn nice, and there are some cute animals, so call it a wash. Cosmo and Wanda exit the body through Vicky's nose, and Timmy exits through a wish, which is pretty unique. Timmy fails his report and then becomes giant enough to squish an entire continent. I'm giving this one a C. The animals are cute, and I do like the infrastructure within the body. It maintained my interest, but it didn't pop. I was excited about this next one as I've always been a fan of Teen Titans. The episode is titled Crash. When Beast Boy illegally downloads a game but has trouble playing it, he jams the disc into Cyborg's recharging system, booting up a computer virus. This mostly results in a ravenous Cyborg chowing down everything from garbage to an ATM. The crew calls in an enemy for help, Gizmo. He has a shrink suit that doubles as a vehicle. The plan is to enter into Cyborg via an injection. Instead, he's shot into Cyborg's glutes. Beast Boy follows him, having shrunken down to a sappy sweet amoeba.
Blob boy, I'm here to help.
Beast Boy, for Cyborg's sake, please don't touch anything.
Any Digidestined fans out there? You might agree that the viral drone's character design is a bit like Caramon. I like the Cyborg lore here. Though his arteries are robotic, he has a human immune system with white and red blood cells. When the action is ramping up within Cyborg, Gizmo dips. And Beast Boy saves the day by multiplying. This overloads Cyborg's system and allows for a life-saving reboot. Beast Boy and Gizmo exit Cyborg through a truly grody sneeze. I personally wish the other members of the High Five were included in this story. That's because Gizmo is pretty one note overall. I'd rank this one as a B-, mostly because Cyborg's body is uniquely electronic. In that way, the trope is refreshed. On to SpongeBob Squarepants, Squidtastic Voyage. SpongeBob dunks on Squidward, horizontally forcing a clarinet down his throat. Though SpongeBob is able to dislodge part of it, the reed and the mouthpiece are stuck deeper inside. They turn to the smartest being in Bikini Bottom for help, Sandy, who already has a shrinkable submarine handy. When Sandy steps away for supplies, SpongeBob and Patrick accidentally shrink down, set up by my favorite joke of the episode.
Shrink. I do have a lot of issues.
They head up Squidward's nose, and it's worth noting that this is not consensual. Set up like medical malpractice, Squidward is rightfully freaking out. Sandy emphasizes that they were never entrusted with this mission as well.
Why don't you take a look for yourself? You're trespassing, SpongeBob, in my lab, my submarine, and you're trespassing inside of Squidward.
With no way forward but through, they travel by Squidward's brain, into his stomach, and then back up his esophagus. That's where SpongeBob disembarks to dislodge that mouthpiece. Neither character wears a protective suit, but that didn't really bother me after I thought about it for a minute because they're always in liquid, suspended in the sea. Horrifically, the sub re-expands with SpongeBob and Patrick still inside.
Good morning, Mr. Krabs.
Hello, Squidward. Neptune's trousers! What's gotten into you?
Reporting for duty, Mr. Krabs.
And that's where we leave these characters. Sure, everything resets, but it's awful. Because of its uncomfortable ending and lack of interest within the body, I'd give this one a D. I'm willing to bet that a lot of you associate this trope with the Magic School Bus. And I'm guessing so because this stock plot was used 7 times overall. Let's check out the first iteration that ever aired, the Magic School Bus for lunch. Arnold is going hard on some gum that he plans to chew for 9 straight hours. This is in order to 1, break a school record, and 2, win water park tickets. But he has 0 interest in that prize. The only sliding he's trying to do is straight into Wanda's DMs.
Actually, my ticket's up for grabs. I'm just helping Wanda out.
Chew, Arnold!
Wanda? I think I swallowed it.
Arnold, how could you?
The class enters Arnold's body within the school bus via his mouth. They journey straight through and then back up the digestive system in chronological order. Wait, but rewind. How is Arnold in here if in here is in him? I'm actually obsessed with Arnold's attempts to break a school record. Like, he truly believes Wanda will fall in love with him if he just eats this many olives. And when his pocket protector exploded, I totally lost it.
One more and I break the school record for pens stuffed into a pocket protector.
Out of all places, the class disembarks when they're in the large intestine. They're wearing scuba suits and decide this is the place to take off their helmets and sniff around for a bit. That feeling when you've digested your crush and nearly expelled her from your own body. This episode is way more iconic and ridiculous than I remembered it. I'd give this end-to-end viewing experience an A+. Next, the class ventures inside of Ralphie. Miss Frizzle approves barging in on Ralphie even though he's sick in bed, all for broadcasting day. The class enters Ralphie's body through his mouth, but his throat is sore, so it doesn't work, and they actually go into him again via a wound. The B-plot got infinitely better when Ralphie's mom walked in. As a doctor, she's able to add some additional educational commentary. I'm also not sure why the students felt they had to hide that the school bus was magic and inside of Ralphie, but they do, so it adds for some good tension.
What are those green things?
Those are bacterial cells.
This just in, folks. That's bacteria, and it's making Ralphie sick.
Is it just me, or did they say Ralphie?
The class eventually exits Ralphie via a sneeze. While this episode did have some sick visuals, it landed flat for me, so it gets a C. I caught one more episode from this series. The magic school bus goes cellular. I'll insert some clips here just so you get the general vibe.
Is it just me? Or are you totally orange?
Sorry, Arnold, but you want it to come off, don't you? We are being frizzled big time. Arnold, no!
Things I loved about this one are 1, the fact that Arnold is winning a prestigious rock collector award. 2, Miss Frizzle has an amazing gemstone dress that she looks stunning in. 3, they are returning to Arnold's digestive system, and it's canon. They refer back to the first time that they did it.
I can't believe we're in Arnold's stomach again.
It's just as I remember it.
Across the board, the magic school bus spares few details, from squelching sound effects to scientific explanations.
That white blood cell just ate those bacteria!
This one is a solid B. Lastly, let's check out Futurama, Parasites Lost. Fry eats an egg salad sandwich from a gas station bathroom. Later, he's impaled with a lead pipe, which reveals that he has parasitic worms living inside of him. His colleagues Professor Farnsworth, Bender, Zoidberg, Amy, and Hermes clone themselves into microdrones and then enter through Fry's ear canal via a miniaturized version of the Planet Express ship. Leela agrees to stay behind and watch over Fry, which turns into an accidental first date. Thanks to the worms, Fry is a stronger, smarter version of himself, and he can finally express his feelings to Leela. And I'll just say it, he's kind of hot. As a huge fan of the series, and specifically Leela and Fry as a couple, I love this episode. Sure, Leela's affinity for Fry is essentially false and tied to the parasites inside of Fry, but everything Fry is feeling and expressing is genuine. And there's huge payoff when we see that expressed in the holophoner scene. At first, Fry plans to keep the worms, but he realizes he can't rely on them for his relationship with Leela. He enters his own body, presumably up his colon, to face the worms head on. Weaponizing his body against them, he threatens to sever essential brain connections.
I was just working my way toward the medulla oblongata, control center of the heart and lungs.
It's ironic considering the Fry we knew before this couldn't comprehend basic human anatomy. This works and the worms leave. Fry plays the holophone once more for Leela. This act reveals that he's not only returned to his original state, but that he wouldn't move forward with Leela unless she accepted him for who he actually is. Even after being rejected, he practices the instrument alone, hoping to grow into someone that Leela would be proud to be with. It's no surprise that I love this implementation of the Fantastic Voyage trope. We're not in Fry's body just cuz. Because of the circumstances at play, Fry and Leela's episodic love story moves forward. I totally understand if you think this should not be comparable to the Magic School Bus or Fairly OddParents. I just wanted to chat about one of my favorite instances of the trope. It gets an A+ for me. Final thoughts. Because the Fantastic Voyage plot originates from the mid-1960s, is it possible that it was inspired by the space race? Instead of looking to the stars, what if Clement and Bigsby asked, what if the human body is just as vast and mysterious? And what would happen if we climbed into a tiny ship and zoomed around for a bit? Those two questions really capture the range of this trope. Sometimes it's an awesome educational tool, and other times it's purely fantastical. Each application of this stock plot takes its own liberties. Is the person being explored aware that it's happening? Will the travelers finally be forced to escape through the long-avoided colon? What if there's an entire society living within us? This makes other tropes like the just one extra ticket plot pale by comparison. Pun intended. While researching this video, I wasn't surprised to find out that this trope freaks people out, especially as kids. It reminded me of that fateful day in first grade when the teacher popped in a VHS on germs, and I learned that there were millions on me everywhere that there always had been and always would be. Creepy. But I want to know, what do you think of this premise? Does the Fantastic Voyage freak you out a bit, or are you a super fan? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for going into the body with me. Who knows, maybe we'll do it again sometime. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this, and until next time, wishing you well.
Thanks for playing.